Leadership isn't just, giving orders. It's really this profound blend of art and science. Especially somewhere like the U.S. Army, so complex, such high stakes.
Absolutely. It's fascinating when you dig into it.
Welcome to the deep dive.
Mm-hmm.
Our mission today, we're going to unpack what it truly takes to be an effective leader in the Army. We'll look at everything from, fundamental communication skills, active listening, for instance, all the way to the really intricate structures of command and control and how leaders are constantly developed.
Right, that continuous development piece is key.
So this deep dive, it's built on some pretty fascinating Army documents. We've got field manuals FM 622, that's developing leaders, and FM 60 on commander and staff organization. Plus a specialized article just on active listening.
Yeah, solid sources. They give you a really practical view.
Exactly. It's a unique lens on leadership effectiveness. And what we promise you, the listener, is a shortcut. You're going to get key insights, maybe some surprising facts.
Definitely some surprises.
About how the Army cultivates leaders who make those critical calls, manage complex ops, and really foster improvement without feeling totally overwhelmed by it all. So let's jump in.
Let's do it.
Okay, so let's unpack this. Active listening. When you think military leadership, that might not be the first phrase that pops into your head, right?
Not typically, no. It sounds a bit soft skills, maybe.
But the sources, FM 622 specifically, they don't just mention it. They actually call it the Rosetta Stone of leadership. I mean, that's a powerful analogy.
It really is. It suggests it's the absolute key to unlocking everything else in leadership communication.
So how does the Army see it? Why is it so fundamental?
Well, the sources stress it's far from passive. It's not just hearing, it's actively drawing out meaning. It involves both verbal and nonverbal cues from the listener.
Okay, actively drawing out.
Yeah, and what's really interesting is why it matters so much. It helps leaders make better plans, better decisions, because they can capture the nuances.
Nuances.
Of what a subordinate is saying. Find that embedded meaning. And crucially, it makes the speaker feel like their views actually matter to the organization.
That feeling of importance, that builds trust, I imagine.
Exactly. Huge for trust and encouraging honest feedback. The source calls active listening a decoder for interpersonal communication. It's about translating words into real understanding.
I can totally see how critical that trust would be, especially in that environment. And it's not just words, is it? The physical setting matters too.
Right. The environment plays a big role.
And I was really struck by this example in the sources. An officer literally reconfigured their office, turned their desk to the wall, used a side table.
To minimize distraction.
Yeah, to remove physical barriers.
Yeah.
Just to signal, I'm present, I'm listening. It seems almost extreme, maybe. Changing your whole office setup.
It might seem that way, but it really highlights how deliberate the skill has to be. It's not accidental. And the sources actually outline specific techniques.
Okay, like what?
Well, one is using minimal encourages. Simple things, like 1 or 2 words. Go on. Oh, tell me more.
So, not necessarily agreeing, just prompting.
Exactly. It just conveys respectful attendance. You're signaling you're engaged, keep talking, gives them the floor.
Okay. And then there's silence.
Okay.
Attentive silence.
Yes. The value of strategic pauses. It's powerful. Gives the speaker time to think, lets them set the pace, shows patience, respect.
Which is hard to do sometimes. We always want to fill the silence.
We do, but it's also a chance for the listener to just observe nonverbal cues, to really focus. The sources make a strong case for it.
Makes sense.
What else? Building on that, you have reflective responses. These are key. 4 types, all non-judgmental, concise, aimed at getting to deeper meaning.
Okay, break those down.
Sure. You've got paraphrasing, just restating the essential facts in the speaker's words. Then reflecting feelings, stating the underlying emotion you're picking up.
So, you seem frustrated. That kind of thing.
Precisely. Then reflecting meanings, this combines facts and feelings, like you feel emotion because fact.
Connecting the dots.
Exactly. And finally, summative reflections. This is after some discussion, tying together patterns or themes you've heard. It's all about confirming you've truly understood the intended message, not just the words.
Right. I can see how these work with that scenario from the sources. Lieutenant Smith having a really bad day. Late, distracted, argued with the S4.
Yeah, a classic bad day situation.
Instead of jumping in, a leader using these could say, paraphrase, okay, so you argued at home, then lost it with the S4. Sounds like a rough start.
Just stating the facts back.
Or reflect feelings. Sounds like you're really frustrated that stuff from home is spilling over into work.
Focusing on the emotion.
Or even reflect meaning. You felt the S4 was unfair, pulling rank, and that just piled out of the frustration from this morning. Different angles, but all aimed at understanding, right? Not judging.
Opening dialogue, not shutting it down.
Which brings us to this really interesting point from Marshall Goldsmith, who's cited in the sources. He says the discipline to listen well, like all the time.
Not just when it's convenient for you.
Right. That's what separates the great from the near great. And he says it's 90% listening.
90%. It's a staggering figure, isn't it? Especially for leaders often expected to do the talking.
Totally. So how do you cultivate that level of discipline?
Well, Goldsmith suggests focusing on making the speaker feel like they're the only person in the room, the most important person.
Tuning everything else out.
Yeah, and actively killing your own desire to impress them. Forget about planning your clever response, just understand. It requires monitoring yourself constantly. It's hard work.
But that kind of attention, that must build incredible trust.
Unparalleled trust, which, as you said, is foundational for the next piece, effective feedback.
Right. Our sources identify feedback as a huge driver for development. FM 622 talks about it coming from everywhere: formal assessments, evaluations, coaching, counseling, even self-awareness tools.
That's right. And for feedback to actually work, leaders need to observe accurately, descriptively. Look for patterns over time, not just reacting to one thing.
So planning observations around key events, but also just watching routine stuff.
Exactly. Building a full picture.
And when do you give the feedback? The sources mention during the action feedback, like maybe in a lull.
If appropriate, yeah. But they really stress privacy for anything sensitive. You don't critique someone publicly if it's personal or negative.
Makes sense. And they even have a structure for it, the SR method.
SOAR. It's quite neat. First, confirm the situation you observed.
Okay, remember when.
Then describe your observation of their behavior, just the facts. What did you see or hear?
No judgment yet.
Not yet. Then, crucially, you ask the subordinate for their self-assessment first. Let them reflect.
Get their perspective.
Yes, and only then do you move to recommendations. Clarify results, agree on outcomes, then add your personal observations or suggestions.
That sounds really constructive. There's an example in FM 622, right?
Yeah.
LTC Smith and CPT Phillips.
Yes, a great one. LTC Smith observed CPT Phillips doing an after-action review, an AAR.
Okay.
Afterwards, LTC Smith gave specific positive feedback. He said something like, "When I came in, Sergeant Jones was talking about friction. You listened really intently and asked probing questions to get details."
So pointing out the specific good behavior.
Exactly. And he finished by saying that was a great technique. It's structured, positive, focused on observed behavior. That's what helps people grow.
That ties into something else the Army pushes, right? Guided discovery learning.
Absolutely. It connects directly. This approach lets subordinates experiment, maybe even fail safely, reset, and learn from doing it, all within a permissive learning environment.
So mistakes aren't punished, they're learning points. Creates resilience.
Precisely. Adaptability, resilience, huge benefits.
Which leads right into self-development. The sources are clear. This is on the individual. It's a personal responsibility.
Yeah, it's not just up to your boss or the Army. You own it. It's planned. It's competency-based, goal-oriented, bridges the gaps in your skills or knowledge.
So how do you actually do it well? What are the tips?
Well, for learning skills, it boils down to repeated, deliberate practice. No real way around that. You got to put in the reps.
Makes sense. And for knowledge?
For knowledge, it's about connecting new info to what you already know. Summarize it in your own words, organize it, ask those deep questions: how, what, why, where.
Okay.
Compare it to other things. And a really powerful one: try to explain it or teach it to someone else. That really tests if you've grasped it.
Teaching forces clarity. Good point.
Yeah.
And mentorship fits in here too.
Oh, definitely. FM 622 defines mentorship very clearly: a voluntary developmental relationship. Key words: voluntary, mutual trust, respect between someone with more experience and someone with less.
Sounds like both people get something out of it.
They absolutely do. Mentors sharpen their own skills, they get fresh perspectives, expand their networks. Mentees, they gain self-awareness, confidence, a better understanding of the organization, the Army culture, and they get a role model.
So fostering that culture of mentorship is really about lifting everyone up.
Exactly. It creates this positive ripple effect, empowering everyone to learn and grow.
Okay, that's a great pivot to the bigger picture. Command and control, C2.
Right, the macro level.
So FM 60 clarifies C2 is, well, two things, right? Command is the authority part, making decisions, ordering action. Control is the monitoring and influencing part.
Command and control. You need both. They're intertwined. But the key thing for a complex place like the Army is how they interact.
And commanders aren't alone in this. The sources talk about a C2 system.
Yes, that's crucial. It's the arrangement of people, processes, networks, and command posts. It's a collective effort, not a solo performance.
It highlights that interplay between maybe centralized authority and letting people on the ground make calls, especially when things move fast.
Exactly. That dynamic tension is vital. You can't have every single decision going all the way up the chain when time is critical. Decentralized execution is key.
So if it's not just one person calling all the shots, you need that well-oiled machine, lots of specialized parts.
Precisely. The sources detail how all these different staff sections support the commander. They help make decisions, implement them, integrate all the different capabilities, what they call combat power, assist subordinates, keep external foes informed.
And the range of specialists is amazing. You've got your cyber electromagnetic warfare officer, the CEWO.
Handling the cyber and EW domains.
Your staff judge advocate, the SJA, for legal advice.
Absolutely critical.
Even a staff weather officer, the SWO, understanding how weather impacts everything.
Yeah, you need all that expertise feeding into the system. And to make sense of it all, the staff uses key tools.
Like running estimates.
Right. These are continuous assessments. Are things going according to plan? Can we support future operations? It's this constant, almost obsessive questioning and forecasting.
So it forces proactive thinking, not just reacting.
Exactly. What makes them powerful is that discipline. Always asking what if, and are we still on track? And then there's the COP.
The common operational picture.
Yep. It's that shared visual display, shows relevant info in the commander's area, pulls from digital systems tailored to who's looking. It's critical for building that shared understanding across the team.
Which brings us to the physical hubs, command posts, CPs.
Right. The headquarters, or part of it, set up specifically for C2, and they come in different shapes and sizes.
Vehicles, tents, buildings. Depends on the mission.
And there are different types. You've got the main CP, that's the big one. Majority of staff handles current ops, detailed analysis, future planning. It's the principal hub.
Okay.
Then the tactical CP, or tech, smaller, more mobile, controls immediate operations. Maybe while the main CP is moving, focuses on the here and now.
More agile.
Right. And for the very start of an op, you might have an early entry CP. It's a temporary lead element to get things going until the main HQ is fully set up.
So each type matches a phase or scale of the operation, optimizing leadership.
Exactly. And inside these CPs, the staff isn't just siloed. They're organized into cross-functional cells.
Like CP cells. Like
you have functional cells grouped by expertise, like intel, fires, logistics, and then integrating cells. These look across functions, usually based on time horizons.
time horizons.
Yeah. Current operations, what's happening right now, future operations planning the next phase, and plans looking further out, the big picture strategy.
Wow. The coordination must be intense.
It is. And the genius here is that it forces parallel planning. You're dealing with today's fight while simultaneously planning the next one and the one after that. Ensure short-term actions don't mess up long-term goals.
That multi-level thinking. Hard to achieve. How do they manage it?
With a highly structured battle rhythm. It's not just a meeting schedule, it's the pulse of the headquarters.
Although more than just meetings.
Oh yeah. It formalizes specific meetings, working groups, information ops working group, protection working group, targeting board, sustainment board, all these forums.
Bringing the right people together at the right time.
Exactly. Ensures information is shared, analyzed, integrated across all those different staff sections, liaison officers. It's a deliberate system to get everyone synchronized, operating on the same information cycle. Prevents chaos.
And within that, you even have super specialized roles.
Yeah.
Like the digital master gunner.
Yep. The expert on making all the C2 tech systems work together, troubleshooting them.
And the COP manager.
Responsible for everything displayed on that common operational picture. Keeping unit locations updated, coordinating the view so everyone sees what they need to see. Precision and redundancy are built in.
Okay, let's shift to information flow itself. Knowledge management, KM, and information management, IM. What's the difference?
Good question. KM is about the process enabling knowledge to flow so people share understanding and make better decisions. IM is more the technical side, the systems and procedures to collect, process, store, display, protect all that data and information. IM supports KM.
You need the pipes IM to get the water KM flowing.
That's a decent analogy, yeah. You can't have effective knowledge flow without robust information systems.
And it's about turning raw data into actual understanding. The sources lay out levels, data, organized into information. analyzed into knowledge, and then synthesized with judgment into understanding.
Right. That progression is key. It
Yeah.
highlights that human judgment is still essential. It's not just about algorithms.
And commanders identify specific info they need, right? CCIRs.
Commander's critical information requirements. Yep. Things the commander has to know for timely decisions. They change as the situation evolves.
And they fall into two types.
PIR's priority intelligence requirements about the enemy or environment, and FFIR's friendly forces information requirements about your own troops. Dynamic, focused, gets the boss what they need when they need it.
And to make sure communication always gets through, there are PACE plans.
Absolutely fundamental. Primary, alternate, contingency, emergency communication methods.
Not just a suggestion, then.
Definitely not. And the key is real redundancy. Your alternate shouldn't rely on the same system as your primary. If satellite is primary, maybe high-frequency radio is alternate, not voice over IP that also uses the satellite. Forces you to think about truly separate pathways.
Smart. And even bandwidth management gets attention.
Oh, yeah. Very practical stuff. Clear guidance on when to send info, using Pulse Systems users download from a server instead of push blasting it out to everyone. Using compressed files. It's all about efficiency, especially when bandwidth is tight.
Makes sense. What about coordinating outside the unit?
That's where liaison officers, LNOs, come in. They're the commander's rep at other headquarters. Crucial for coordination, sync, cooperation, especially with higher HQs or partners interagency, multinational.
They're like ambassadors for their unit.
Yeah.
Subject matter experts.
Exactly, bridge builders. And especially vital in multinational operations. Different comm systems, different doctrines, language barriers, cultural differences. LNOs help build that mutual trust and confidence.
Which sounds essential. And there's also a role for controlling sensitive info with foreign partners.
Yes, the Foreign Disclosure Officer, or FDO. They handle the release of classified military information, CMI, or controlled unclassified information, CUI, to foreign reps. It's strictly controlled by national policy, legal rules. Each nation decides what it can share. Very precise.
Wow. Okay, what a journey. We started really personal with active listening that Rosetta Stone
The foundation.
talked about structured feedback, self-development, then zoomed out to the big systems, command and control, staff operations, different CPs, all that meticulous information management, coordinating externally.
It really covers the spectrum from individual skills to complex organizational processes.
And what's striking, I think, is how these principles, even though they're home for the military, they feel universally applicable, don't they?
Absolutely. That disciplined listening, structured feedback, clear C2 systems, deliberate knowledge management. Any team, any organization could benefit from these ideas.
Whether you're managing a project, leading a team, or just trying to communicate better yourself.
For sure. Tangible strategies there.
It really makes you think. The Army calling active listening a Rosetta Stone, not just some soft skill. And those detailed systems for sharing info, making decisions, leaves you wondering, doesn't it? What hidden messages are we missing in our own daily communications?
Good question.
And how much more effective could our own teams be if we just adopted even a little bit of that structured approach to really understanding each other and coordinating action?
Definitely something to mull over. How much potential are we leaving on the table just by not listening well enough or not structuring our information flow? Makes you think.